Liza Minnelli. Does that make sense? I mean, that might be too far-fetched. We're like a frog in boiling water. Do you feel good? I bet you do. Is he evil? Hello, darlings, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Care Off Book. It's me, Care Darling, and yes, I know it's taken so long for me to finally watch Cabaret.
It's been 84 years.
I don't know what to think of this musical. I know that I have a lot of thoughts, so I just want to say thank you so much for voting for this musical as the one that we will discuss. There is more musicals for you darlings to vote on. You have to be subscribed to me on this channel, and the goal I have is to at least twice a month, you darlings get to choose what musical we talk about. So if you are into, pro shots, performances, of course, movie musicals, you have come to the right place. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, I finally watched Cabaret, so let's discuss. When Cabaret returned in 1993, it didn't want to charm you. It wanted to confront you. The lights were dimmer, the eyeliner was smudgier, and the audience wasn't watching the show. They were part of it. Right from the beginning, one of the lines that popped out to me was, "Do you feel good? I bet you do." Like, that one sent me.
Do you feel good? Yeah, I bet you do.
I found myself wondering, what is the Kit Kat Club? Like, is it a nightclub? Is it a strip club? Is it a whorehouse? Or is it even darker? A reflection of us. Before we dive in, let's rewind. Cabaret is based on Christopher Isherwood's Goodbye to Berlin and the play I Am a Camera. Cliff, our American novelist, is inspired by Isherwood himself, a writer who came to Berlin in the 1930s searching for inspiration and found a city dancing on the edge of collapse. And Sally Bowles wasn't just a character, she was based on a real woman named Jean Ross. Now, Jean wasn't naive like Sally. She was smart, politically aware, and later became a journalist and a strong anti-fascist voice. She actually hated how she was being portrayed as someone that was thoughtless and flirty and floating around with no clue. It makes you wonder, why did Isherwood write her like that? Maybe because it was easier for him to romanticize her in a way that he sees her versus what she actually was. Or maybe Sally Bowles was never meant to be Jean. Maybe she was meant to be us. That part of us that performs joy to avoid reality, the same part that smiles when the world starts to burn. So even though for me Cabaret, is theatrical, it started with real people living in impossible times. Then in 1951, playwright John Van Druten adapted Isherwood's stories into a play called I Am a Camera. That play focused on the writer's relationship with Sally Bowles. It was quieter, more character-driven, and much less political. Over a decade later, in 1966, composer John Kander, lyricist Fred Ebb, and director Hal Prince took those stories and created the Broadway musical Cabaret. They added the Emcee, the Kit Kat Club numbers, and turned the politics of rising Nazism into a theatrical backdrop, using the cabaret itself as commentary. It wasn't just about characters anymore. It was about society performing while the world fell apart. And then in 1972, Bob Fosse adapted it into the film we all know, starring Liza Minnelli and Joel Grey. Fosse made it even darker, more stylized, and deeply cinematic. The political storylines were condensed, but the visuals were sharp, sexy, and terrifying. So by the time Sam Mendes revived Cabaret in 1993, he wasn't just reviving a musical, he was reviving an idea that had already lived many lives. Each version held up a mirror to its own time. The book showed pre-war confusion, the play captured post-war repression, the musical warned of complacency, and the film showed what happens when we dress denial up in sequins. Sam Mendes' 1993 revival took that story and stripped it bare. No sequins, no glam, just grit, sweat, and a set that looked like a remains of a party that went on too long. I thought it was really cool and interesting that the aesthetic of the show was very of its time, right? The 90s, very grunge and rebellious. And I thought that actually fit perfectly for Cabaret. Right, because Berlin wasn't glamorous here. It was desperate, decaying, and based what the characters were saying, it was magnetic to them. And the audience, I mean, we weren't safe in the dark. We were sitting in the Kit Kat Club surrounded by chaos. To be fair, I was sitting in a living room, but I felt like I was part of it, okay? Can we talk about Jane Horrocks as Sally Bowles? I honestly don't think anyone can play it better than her. Something that I enjoyed about her interpretation of this character, like it's very much Blanche Dubois. If you don't know who Blanche Dubois is, A Streetcar Named Desire.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
With this character, it's usually the thing I say when a character is just wants to live in their fantasy, it's their safe place, so then they block out whatever is happening just to keep their happiness like within their own control. With Jane's Sally, her voice cracks, her smile feels manic, her maybe this time isn't a power ballad, it's a plea. She doesn't perform pathos, she embodies repression. She's holding it together with furs and denial, and you can feel every ounce of pain she refuses to show. Then there's Alan Cumming as the MC, the show's narrator, entertainer, and
I've got such range.
honestly the most confusing character throughout the musical. At first he's charming and cheeky, almost irresistible, but as the show goes on, the jokes get darker, the fun starts to rot.
Wicked.
While watching, I was asking myself, like, is he evil or is he the reflection of the world around him? By the final scene, when he removes his coat to reveal the striped pajamas, the same kind worn by Holocaust victims, that question becomes haunting. Was he the puppet master or just another prisoner of the system he mocked? And maybe I found these two characters like the biggest standout because we don't know anything about them. Even in the beginning with Cliff and Sally, she says to him, I'll tell you things if I want you to know.
Let's talk about Sally Bowles. What part of England are you from? London? Stratford-on-Avon? Stonehenge?
Cliff, you mustn't ever ask me questions. If I want to tell you anything, I will.
So are we attracted to these characters because of the mystery and can just figure out things in our own minds versus the musical telling us? Like with Cliff, we know everything, get everything, but as far as his character's journey, it's not very compelling because it's too obvious. Something I found interesting in the musical is that every time the MC comes in, the tone of the show shifts. At first, it's fun and flirty, then cynical, then sinister. It's like watching the world laugh its way into disaster. And I think that's what Cabaret does that I think is so brilliant. It's almost like, oh my gosh, wait. It's like, maybe the best way I can explain this is that we're like a frog in boiling water. Does that make sense? I mean, that might be too far-fetched, but hopefully you get it. This show blurs the line between performance and politics. Everyone's too busy performing, pretending, or escaping to notice the danger creeping in. When the song Tomorrow Belongs to Me first plays, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. But then the second time it plays, it's terrifying. You realize it's not a love song, it's a warning. So let's jump ahead to the 2021 London revival. It's also immersive, luxurious, and intimate. Once again, you don't just watch the Kit Kat Club, you live in it. And we can thank Sam Mendes for that. Like, that truly did come from him. But this is why I think the 1993 revival is just superior. I think it just hits harder. Its industrial, grungy set didn't seduce you, it exposed you. Jane Horrocks made you ache for Sally because she wasn't trying to make you love her. She wasn't asking for pity, she was surviving. I just feel with the modern version of Sally, what I've noticed is that it's almost like they feel a sense like they should be louder, and that their breakdown, especially during the song of Cabaret, is just loud and distorted and stuff. And I guess like the critique I have is that it's almost like they want to show you emotion versus feeling emotion. And for me, that's why I feel Jane Horrocks performance like separates her from everyone else, because I felt that her restraint and letting it go at times, like that was the heartbreak.
When I go,
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
I'm going like acid.
This sounds bad.
Excuse me?
Every new revival Cabaret owes a hat tip to Sam Mendes. Like, his production changed everything by turning the audience from silent observers into part of the story, complicit in the same moral fog that the characters lived in. Since then, every version has carried that idea further, transforming the theater itself into the Kit Kat Club. And now people don't just like go see the Kit Kat Club, they're now in the Kit Kat Club. And that's what makes Cabaret so vital to keep bringing back, because it forces us to look at who we are when the lights go down and the music starts to play. By the time the MC sings his final number, the line between Cabaret and concentration camp is gone. The audience has been laughing, clapping, entertained, and suddenly it's silent. And after seeing the pro shot online, by the way, I will put the link up so you can watch it too. To me, that's what will make this revival unforgettable. What makes this version so powerful is that it's not beautiful. It's not perfect. It's messy, human, and frighteningly real. It reminds us that every era has its own Kit Kat Club, its own distractions, its own denials. And I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over, but with this show, it really is asking you, like, are you just watching the show or are you part of the show? So yeah, those were a lot of my thoughts throughout the show. Something I also want to add is that I remember years ago, I don't remember it too well, of course, seeing the movie musical with Liza Minnelli, but when I think of that MC, he just bows and leaves. And then with the 1993 revival, we're actually seeing the MC be the victim, and I felt more impact with that choice than I did with the movie musical.
Will you just keep talking, please? You can't imagine how starved I've been.
Okay. Let's see. Somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere people shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Oh, yes, don't stop, please.
Anyways, darlings, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I would love to know your thoughts on Cabaret, especially the 1993 version. You could go ahead and watch it. I'm going to put it up in the description. If you're still hanging out with me, go ahead and put up the emoji of a top hat so I know you've been here. And don't forget to go ahead and vote for the next musical that we talk about. So yeah, if you're into that as far as performances, musicals, pro shots, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, darling.